Welcome to this Autism Ontario webinar. My name is Matthew Lay, and as always, I will be your host.
Today, we will be discussing a functional communication framework for academic success. But now let's bring in our panel.
I'm a teacher in the York Region District School Board, bringing a lot of my background through disability justice in my role today as a teacher. But what really brings me here is my daughter. Bella is 15 years old. She is on the autism spectrum along with many complex needs. And just to be able to share my intersectional identities as a parent, as an advocate, as an educator, to talk more about the individual education plan along with what functional communication looks, sounds, and feels like in our home.
Tracy Lindblad from Autism Ontario, thanks for being here again. Maybe you can share just a little bit about your history and what brings you to the desk today.
I'm a speech and language pathologist and originally got my start in the school boards. After that, went into private practice, actually to work with children specifically with autism and areas like AAC and education and IEP goals and things like that. But currently working as the subject matter expert speech language pathologist at Autism Ontario.
Well, a dynamic group joining us today, and it's time to get into the content. Tracy, the first one is the importance of functional communication skills. Can you talk a little bit about what do we mean when we say functional communication skills?
So what we mean when we say functional communication skills is that there's a number of different kinds of acts or behaviors that you have to do that go into communication. So functional communication means that it has to be between at least two people. Okay. So the person acts as both a speaker and a listener. So it takes both those skills, and that it has to be understood by the other person. So the message has to be understood. And when we talk about functional communication, we don't mean just speaking. Right. It means in any modality. So written language, sign language, using pictures, using tablets and software. But again, it has to be that speaking and listening and be really functional and able to get their message across.
Right. Let's talk about the importance of functional communication in schools.
Right. So functional communication sets the stage for accessing curriculum. Right. For many of the areas of school. So it enables you to acquire knowledge, to show what you know, to ask questions, to understand, to think about things. And so you really need that functional communication to be able to be your own person. So we call that agency. To be able to advocate for yourself, to ask questions, to get the information that you need as a person. So you get your wants and needs met. Without that, you actually don't have an ability to engage with the curriculum in school.
Right. So speaking of curriculum, do teachers know what functional communication is?
Great question. So in my experience, yes, teachers do have a high level understanding of what functional communication can look like. But I think it's from a high level as a student raising their hand saying, I need attention, I want to answer that question. Having eye contact or being able to vocalize and share and speak what they want in the classroom across the school day. However, when communication looks like crying, eloping, headbanging, self-injuring, teachers usually don't really understand that, hey, that is also a form of communication. Right. The child could be frustrated. The child may not be feeling safe in the environment they are in. Maybe they want something, are unable to communicate that with their communication partner. I'm going to pull it back a bit in regards to my experience as a parent and an advocate. For Bella, currently she's 15 years old. She's non-speaking. And it took a while for us to find a communication system that works for her. We introduced the picture exchange communication system, and it worked wonders. When we took the intentional time to stage a setting where she could exchange a picture communication card for something she really wanted that reinforced her need to play with that specific toy, she acquired that agency. She acquired that independence, that saying, hey, you know what? If I want something, I'm going to ask for it, right? So for today, my advice to families out there and caregivers and advocates out there that, hey, take that time to talk with the families, to talk with the therapists that work with the children, that functional communication can look very different for different students in different ways.